Hi, folks. I just wanted to talk about fluorescence photography, particularly underwater photography, where you've got certain coral and species of fish that um, have sort of different from bioluminescence, but they have sort of a fluorescence that comes from photons coming out of them naturally. And normally you don't see this very well with your eyes when you're just sort of diving on a night dive, or certainly not during the day, but at night is when you really pick it up and you get little pieces of it even without the right gear. But there's certain things you can do as a photographer, products that you can buy to really make the most of the fluorescence and see and experience the fluorescence and capture pictures and that sort of thing. So um, I purchased some Light products a couple of years ago, and actually it was probably only about a year ago that I've had it, but I've been able to use it on a few dives in Indonesia and in the west coast here of Canada. And I find it really effective, and it's very exciting when you run across a reef or some animal that's has these photons that they're emitting. So, and they all have different colors and different configurations, and it can be pretty dramatic sometimes. So um, I've got a typical, I've got a Nicolite case, underwater housing, and with a Nikon 7200, Inon Z330s, along with some high-powered video lights like what I have here. But you need more than just a regular video light for this. You're going to need either ultraviolet emitting light, which is what the old school fluorescence photography used. But that's today with the eco-conscious. That people are kind of frowning on that now because it's kind of hard on the animals, apparently, on their eyes. And so the ultraviolet is kind of going away, but you can still purchase ultraviolet products out there. The big thing now is blue light. So if you can get blue LED light, it's actually more economical as well, and you can get it in quite a bit of power. So this particular light, this doesn't really, I'm not even sure what brand this is, but it's quite powerful, and it emits, there's a red light. Now the red light is very effective for creeping up on creatures because most undersea creatures can't see red light, so you can actually get fairly close to them in the dark before they realize that you're there using red light. However, we're talking about blue light here, so this is the blue light that emit it, and this is what's going to make the fluorescence release kind of glow like a neon light. And so this is the kind of light you need underwater and at night for taking fluorescence photography. So and the next thing that you need is something to see with it. You need sort of a barrier, because what happens is when the blue light goes against the reef, yes, the photons in the particular reef or creature will get expressed brighter, but you'll get some sort of a background blue effect that shows up on the reef. And to get rid of that blue effect so that you only see the animal, only see the photons that are coming out and not the light that you're putting down onto the subject, you need what they call a barrier. So for your own eyes, for your mask, Light makes these goggles, and this just fits in front of your mask. And what it does, like I say, is it barriers out the blue light that is going on the reef, and then the animal or the reef that you see with the photons coming out, it kind of makes the background black and the foreground the fluorescence, which is what you came for. So this allows you to see the subject so you can zero in and take a picture or whatever, and it's very helpful. It really highlights what's going on. So that's very effective. But then of course, if you just go ahead and take the picture, then your picture shows up like you don't have these barrier goggles on. So you need a kind of a set of goggles for your camera lens too. So this is my macro port, which is the most effective and pretty much the only way you're gonna take it. I suppose you could do wide angle as well, but really the macro is really the way to go to get the best pictures for this type of thing, I think. So here's my macro port for my Ikelite housing, and here's this product, the barrier port lens from Ikelite that's made for this. And so this just fits on the top, and it has these little tabs that go down, just Velcro, nothing fancy. And it's got a little lanyard on it because you're going to want to take this off sometimes. Depending on what's going on underwater, you may not want this on all the time. You may get into a situation where you want to photograph or get some video of something completely different than your phosphorus, your fluorescence event that you have booked. You might want to do something else during that dive, so it allows you to take it off and pin it on something else, or just hook it on one of your lights or something. So that's how that works, and that kind of allows you to kind of see through. You can sort of see through. Looks yellow, but what it does allows you to see the photons and provides a nice blacker background, so it's very effective that way. So next I'll just show you a few pictures of that I took in Indonesia, of some pictures of the reef and how cool it looks. Thanks for watching. So here's a couple of fluorescent photon emitting cheap highlighters on my desk here, and you can see that this isn't the best example because it's the ISO in the camera is bringing out the light under the desk and that sort of thing. But let me just add some blue light to it now. So I'll add blue light to the situation, and you can see how much more they glow. But let's try now to put the lens here from the, there we go. Doesn't seem to, I think there's just too much light in this room to make it really show up. Maybe you have to wait till nighttime or something.